everybody can see us over there.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna put my thing on here. Yeah. Now we're ready.
there we go. There we go.
Okay.
And all right, let me see here,
Now they
man.
go.
Let me get into the Facebook so I can open it up so people can see the show.
Huh?
Do, 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 do. We're on here tonight live, man, live in person. I got Merciless Ray Mercer, man, one of the greatest boxers in the '90s. I mean, this man is a legend. If you haven't heard about him, stick around because you're gonna be awful impressed with what you hear. I straightened that out on Facebook so everybody can see us over there. And I'm not computer savvy either, man. I grew up in an era where you walked in the elevator, you had to have a guy press the buttons for you to get to the fifth floor. So
Yeah, yeah, I guess it. Same here.
so let's see. Let's give a few people a chance to come in here, and
Okay.
let's
Oh,
see,
cause you
man.
let everybody. Oh, everybody's thinking 8:30.
Everybody's thinking 8:30.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, that's cool then because that's why I was asking if we. So
But
we
here
can
we
wait
go,
till
man.
8:30.
They're
Eight
starting.
thirty be good.
They're starting to pile in. They're starting to come in.
Okay.
They're starting to come in, man. A little drink of water, man. That's all I drink. I drink nothing but water.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I drank enough water in my lifetime.
No caffeine.
Uh, in the boxing world, training and all that stuff, I drink a lot of water.
I'll say, man. I'll say.
It's
And,
good
and
for you.
the best in the world, the best in the world, man. But
Yeah.
Ray, first of all, let me introduce you, man. I'm here with Merciless Ray Mercer, and anybody out there who knows boxing, this is a former heavyweight champion of the world. He's got a resume that you would not believe, and man, I'm just very, very, very lucky, very, very grateful to have him on here, man. The Bud Files is in here, Skywalker Boxing Media is in here. We're still a couple of minutes early, but I tell these people, I'm lucky that we got him in here, man, because I'm so computer illiterate. You know, we almost said screw it. Wait till his daughter comes home and put it on the laptop. Do it later on. But fortunately, with the grace of God, we get on here and we'll do the show, man. Techniques on here, our boogers in here. We'll let Kazi's in here, man. They're starting to roll in. I mean, I got royalty in the house tonight, man. This is Merciless Ray Mercer, gold medal winner. Ray, you didn't
All
start
right.
boxing. You didn't start boxing even in your 20s, did you?
Yes, I started when I was 23.
And how did you get into boxing? Want to talk about it from the early days a little bit?
Yeah. Are we live right now?
We're live, my man. We're
All
live.
right, we're live, everybody. Well, I was in. My father was in the military for 25 years, and so I was a dependent. So when I got out of school in Augusta, Georgia, I my dad took me down. I wasn't doing anything. I was out of school, wasn't doing anything. So he marched me on down to the recruiter, and he signed me up. He signed me up for the army, and I passed the test. I barely passed, but I passed, and I was in. So I got into infantry. I scored high enough to get infantry, man. Which I wouldn't want anything else to be anything else but infantry. But that's what I got, man. And I was in the army for 2 years, from '80 to '82, and then in '83 I got stationed overseas and over in Germany, Schweinfurt, Germany, and I was in the unit. We was in the motor pool working on the tracks and all that stuff. And I was talking a whole lot of trash because we had to pass time, in the motor pool. So all I did was talk trash to everybody, and everybody. All we did was work and laugh. So we had the army. I mean the boxing, the post boxing champ. heavyweight in my unit too. He was in the motor pool too, and the trainer was in the motor pool too. So he asked me. He came up to me. He asked me to be a sparring partner for his heavyweight for the post champ, and I told him when I come back from Reforger, which is like a 30-day field problem. Yeah, I mean, you go out in the woods and there's snow and everything. It's just dangerous. You can get ran over by tanks and all that because you can't really sleep in them. You have to sleep outside of them. And a lot of soldiers, we have a lot of accidents on that. It's a 30-day field problem. And you're cold. So I told him when we come back from that, then I would do it. And he told me that if I said yes to being a sparring partner, that I wouldn't have to go to the field. I could stay back and eat and take showers and I'll do all the things that you can't do in the woods. So I said yes, and he told me when to be in the gym. I went to the gym, and over that night I was happy because I didn't go to the field, but I forgot I didn't know how to box either. So
Did you ever put
um,
gloves on before that?
excuse me.
Did you ever put gloves on before that?
No, before that, I had gloves on one time in high school when me and my buddy we were just messing around in the gym. And I had hit him with a right hand, no boxing move. I just hit him with the right hand, and he had got mad, and we argued a little bit, and that was it. That's the only time I ever had gloves on. I never thought I'd be a boxer and all that. I used to like boxing, watching Muhammad Ali and all them fights he had back in when I was in high school, you know, over in Germany. So he showed me how to do. I asked him to show me how to defend myself, and the coach he showed me how to throw a jab and how to keep my hands up, and I just caught hold, and after like a month, I made the heavyweight post champ quit sparring with him. He quit, and I was the post champ, and I went on to win 13 fights over in Germany, the highest tournament over there for military, and I won, but nobody gave it to me. So I went 13 fights without losing. My first fight I won, it was a Yusha fight for the title, and they robbed me for that one. But I didn't know what robbery was until then. But that's how I got started, man. And then I just
Awesome,
fell
bro.
in love with it. I just fell in love.
Let me thank the people that come in here. I want to shout them out, man. They're coming in here watching us. Otherwise, it would be just me and you on the phone. I'm lucky we got a
Okay.
bunch of people here and checking us out, man. My brother John McSmith, man. Shout out to you, Keon. Everything Boxing. I see you in here. Cosmic One, ATX, my brother. Salute to you, man. I don't want to miss anybody. Gutters Pub, my sister. Thank you much for coming by, man. I'm fortunate as a MF in here. I got Merciless Ray Mercer, man, and I mean, we're just getting started. Ray, after that, now, how did you end up in Seoul, Korea?
Well, it was like I said. I started in 1983, and I went and I won like 13 fights, and in 1980, it was 1985. I went to an all army camp here at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and you fighting the all army camp is all army is like fighting the best in the army, becoming the best in the army. So I did that. I came to that camp, and it was a lot. I was green in boxing. I didn't really know too much, but they had a lot of the best fighters there in the All Army camp, and I just looked and learned from them and everything. And it was hard running. It was some hard training, and so it was so hard that 1985, when I came back, I told them I wasn't coming back to the All Army camp every year. They have it every year, and I felt like if you go back every year, you're going to be wore out. Because it was too hard. It was hard for me that one time, so I figured I'd stay back and try for the Olympics because it's
Harder than
easier.
the pros.
Huh?
Harder than the pros. The Army
Yeah,
camp.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yes. Um, so I went back to my unit overseas in Germany, and uh, I started fighting again, having smokers, learning this, learning that, going fighting USA fights over in Sweden. I went over there a couple of times, and I just got experience, and I went back in 1988. I went back to the All Army camp. and I had the Olympics in my eyes. I was dreaming and praying for the Olympics and trying to learn everything I could, from the the Army teaching me and helping me. I was learning, and I learned too also that it's in the Army. It's easier to get to the Olympics because all we had to do was win in the service, which is all the service: Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force. The Marines. We win that tournament, and then we automatically got a spot for the Olympic trials. We don't even have to go to the nationals in the Army. That's the route I took. But I won the nationals too. I went and I won the nationals too. But I didn't need it. But I went anyway, um, and I won. And it was on then. I made the tryouts, and I fought in the tryouts. That's why I fought Tommy Morrison the first time. I fought Tommy Morrison in the tryouts, and I didn't knock him out, but I beat him. I was in real good shape. I was in the best shape of my life that year, and long as I was winning, I would stay. I can stay in the United States and box because I was still stationed over in Baumholder. So when you
And
lose, I had to go back to my unit. You know what I'm saying? But I had a dream to make the Olympic team, and that's why I was knocking everybody out. I didn't know anybody. Nobody knew me. That's how green I was when I first started boxing for the Olympics. And I just got in the best shape of my life, and I won the tryouts. And next thing you know, I'm on the Olympic team, and I'm over in the Olympics knocking everybody out. And
standing on the
so
podium,
from 5 years, huh?
standing on that podium with Olympic gold.
Oh yeah, 5 years from when I started in 1983, I got good enough to win a gold medal. And 5 years in the Army, that's what it took me when I first started boxing. 5 years from just smokers
Unbelievable.
to gold medal,
Unbelievable.
and I
Now
created the military.
tell me, Ray, tell me,
Huh?
after that gold medal, was that going to be the end all be all, or did you have pro in your mind?
No, I really, I was so concentrating on winning the gold medal, man. I didn't even think about turning pro or anything. I didn't know. I wasn't even really thinking about it. All I was thinking about was uh, winning a gold medal. That was it. So I prayed for that and I trained for that and everything. So after I won the gold medal, after after about a week, my trainer called me and said he had a contract for me and he flew over to Germany. Him and my other trainer, um, Hank Johnson and Alton Murkison, flew over to Germany for me to sign the contract with Bob Arum, and I did, and it was on after that. I was, I wasn't really ready for everything, but started getting in the papers and getting interviews and getting treated like a gold medalist, man, and it was all new to me. And today it's still new. I mean, it's still like new to me. All the attention that you get. But I try to use that to encourage other kids, man, to get out other kids that need to know and have Olympic people talk to them so they can do what I did. Because I had Charles Mooney. He came and talked to us. He was in the Army, and he won a silver medal on the best Olympic team ever. That was 1976 on the
Oh
Sugar
yeah,
Ray Leonard Olympic.
oh yeah,
Sugar Ray Leonard's all the stars they had there. So and he
Montreal.
encouraged me. So I want to encourage other kids. So that's why it was important to me, man. That's why I take it real serious now, and I'm just honored, and I'm just blessed, and I didn't win a gold medal just to win it. It was something that was meant for me to do. So I feel like I have something I have to do. I have a mission to get through to the kids that dreams come true. All you have to do is have them and work
Great.
toward them. That's all you have to do.
When you turned pro in 1989, how many times did you fight that year? I'm looking. You must have fought 15 times in 1989.
I really don't even know. It was something like that. It was something
Un,
like that.
Unbelievable. And then it's like the first name you fought. First of all, you fought Jerry Jones. I remember Jerry Jones.
Yes, I remember Jerry Jones. We're Facebook friends, man.
Man,
I text him all the time.
I just read an article about him. He was homeless for 5 years, and now
Yeah,
he's had an apartment now. And man, I
yeah.
felt it was a feel good article, man. And
He did great. It made me feel proud.
that definitely. And then you fought your first world class fighter, Ozzy Ocasio. That was you remember that
Yeah,
fight with Ozzy?
yeah, I remember that when he was running and he was talking about I can't hit him. He had to sing in the butterfly song that Muhammad Ali was doing. He was talking all that. So I think he lasted a round or a half, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you just kept fighting and fighting and fighting. You fought Smoking Burt Cooper. That was an
Now
amazing.
that was a fight right there. Smoking
That
Burt, that was fight of the year.
yeah.
And I spent like 2 days in the hospital after that fight. Because
Wow.
I was wore out, and we was both just wore out. I'm gonna tell you, all the fluids was out of my body. From the second round or first round, I had to fight him with I got 18 stitch cut. I had to fight with, and for 12 rounds. And what made Burt Cooper so tough, that he was my sparring partner for over 2 years. So
Huh.
we knew each other like that, and fighting a sparring partner and then fighting him in real life and lifetime. I mean, it's gonna be hard because he knows you and you know him. So he's trying to win. You're trying to win. Burt Cooper was a tough guy too. I had him and Oliver McCall at the same time.
Whoa.
At the same time. So as a pro, that's a different thing. As being a pro, you slow down a little bit. You have to slow down a little bit, and you gotta think. I mean, you really gotta think, and you gotta make them 12 rounds.
I'll tell you,
That
you were
was
always
that was
known.
like,
You were always known for them whiskers of yours. You had you,
I
you
was
had a
always known.
chin. You were always known for that chin of yours, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
You couldn't
Yeah.
get
I
hurt.
was. That's what is. I got hit on it a couple of times, but I'm gonna tell you that what I learned in the amateurs is what made my tough. What makes my chin so tough is this. Like they say, the punches that you don't see are the ones that hurt you. So all I did was keep my eyes open. I seen most of the punches coming. Most of the hard, and then you brace for them. The ones that hurt you are the ones you don't see. And I really believe in that. That's why I kept my eyes open on the inside. I kept my eyes open all the time. I see a lot of fighters now and then they would shut their eyes when they got in battle. Yeah, and that's when you get hit. So people say my chin is tough, but I got hit on it. But uh, I just seen the punches coming, man. I just kept my eyes open. That's what I try to tell these kids now, man. You got to keep your eyes open, no matter what in battle where you're gonna get hit. But I tell them the ones you don't see are the ones that hurt you. That's
Well,
it. Yep.
I'll tell you. A few months later, your first world title shot. I watched this fight on TV, man. You fought Francisco Damiani. Francisco was beating you up, Ray. Francisco was making you look kind of slow out there, bro. And then all of a sudden, bang! You put his nose to the back of his brain. You want to tell me about that fight again? Let's relive that fight. That was an amazing fight, bro.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I was in shape for that fight, and I was prepared and everything for him. But when you look at him, he looks kind of fat, and then he was a southpaw. They said he didn't hit hard. Everything that they told me that guy wasn't, he was. And you're right. He beat me from ding to dong. If I didn't win one round. I didn't even come close to winning one round. He was fast. He was moving side to side. I kept going back to the corner, telling my trainer Hank Johnson that I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. And I did that for 9 rounds. I kept going back to the corner like that, man. He would beat me. I didn't know what to do. So I thought I was throwing everything, and I just started just to throw throw a punch that I never throw, but I always work on the bag. You know, I always throw it on the bag. Everybody got one punch you always throw on the bag, but you never really throw it in the fight. I didn't have anything else to throw, so I threw an up jab, and it
It was a
landed right on the tip of his nose. And he leaned on me. He was leaning on me. I didn't know he was hurt or anything. And then all of a sudden he
blood.
fell, and I seen blood, and I was like, they counted him out, and I was the happiest guy in the world, man. I didn't even feel like I deserved that, man. But you know, I worked for it. I didn't give up. I did not give up. That
No, man.
one punch changed everything. I was heavyweight champion of the world.
Yep, yep.
I
You know,
was.
and but it was the WBO title, and you could have made so much with that title, but you didn't seem to really care too much about it.
Like I said, man, I really didn't, because I wasn't really prepared to go like pro or whatever, man. I had prayed and trained hard for the amateurs and everything, and when I got that, that was that's really all I needed. And so the pros was coming after. I was getting out of the army. The pros gonna come, so I just went along with it, and I only wish that I would have had you know, the same attitude and spirit that I had to win the gold medal than I'd have had to win the championship. If I'd have had the same attitude that I'd have had in the amateurs, in the pros, I'd have been 5 time. I'd have beat everybody. I would have beat everybody. But I didn't have it. And it's hard to explain, but I can tell you my dream wasn't to be the heavyweight champion of the world. It was to win the gold medal. And that's all I was really focusing on. I knew I could have did so much more. I wish I would have been better and really hungry to become the champion 5 times and hold on to the title, all that stuff. But it was there, but I was just still celebrating from winning the gold medal, man, because that was my dream. So
Well,
that's why I was a little. Everybody used to say I used to slack in and didn't train hard and all that. I could have trained a whole lot harder and being a little more disciplined than I was, but like I said, man, winning the gold medal was my dream.
who trained you? Who showed you that up jab? Somebody wants to know out there in the chat room.
No, that's just something hitting the heavy bag. You just come up with. Everybody got this one weird punch that they throw. I never seen people throw the up jab, but I would just throw it. If my jab was good, I would throw it any kind of way I could. And on the bag, I would throw it. In the fights, I never threw it until then. So I get my butt whooped for 9 rounds fighting Francisco Damiani. And I'm gonna tell you, I am so thankful for that punch. It's the best punch. When they say heavyweight, all it takes is one punch. I am living proof, baby. I'm living proof of a lot of things. That dreams come true. All you got to do is have them. I'm telling you.
And I'll tell you the beauty of this YouTube now. All these fights we're talking about. All you cats got to do tomorrow or after the show's over is just go in there and type Ray Mercer, Damiani, and the next fight that he had after that. This fucking, excuse my language, but this fucking fight blows my mind. This was the fight of the century, one of the original pay-per-view fights. Undefeated Ray Mercer against the Great White Hope, undefeated Tommy Morrison. Let's talk about that fight, champ.
Oh yeah, that fight.
That
That
was the
happened
most
to be, excuse me.
that was the most brutal knockout I think I've ever seen in my life. I thought you should have been
Yeah,
arrested for murder after that fight, bro. That was like, I mean, and he got you in that fight too. He got you early, but you just shook it off and came back again, man.
yeah. He was hitting me, but that's just what this is how Tommy Morrison fight thing happened. We was signed to fight, and we was in training. I had like 8 weeks or something like that before I had hurt my ankle playing basketball up at camp with Roy Jones and Al Cole and Charles Murray. We was all playing basketball, and I hurt my ankle. So I went back and I figured out. I lied to my trainer Hank Johnson and told him, I was coming down the stairs and I twist my ankle. But then Roy Jones had told him when he seen him that what happened, that we were playing basketball, how was Ray and all that other stuff. So I told the trainer I lied and what we was doing. So everybody got mad at me and everything. But they're getting ready. Right when we get ready to report that, Tommy Morrison people called and said they need more time because he had got injured. He was injured. I think he hurt something. I don't know, his shoulder or something like that. But he injured. So that was great. So I didn't have to even come out with that. That I had hurt my ankle. So I had time to train and time to get my ankle right. So we did that, and during the training, my trainer had told me that I was only getting 50,000 more than Tommy Morrison, and I was the champion. So I had a problem with that. So he told me if I didn't believe him, to call Bob Arum. So I called Bob Arum, and I asked Bob Arum. I said, Bob, I said, Mr. Arum. I didn't say Bob. I said, Mr. Arum. I said, how can I be champion and I'm only getting 50,000 more than Tommy Morrison? And he told me something. It shocked me, but it shocked me what he said, but what he did. But I didn't like it, but he told the truth. That's why I respected what he said immediately. And when I asked him that, he had told me because he's white. He said because he's white, and I said okay, just like that, just because I respected him for just telling me the truth. And that's what he told me. Because it's not right for just to get 50,000 more than what I'm saying. So that's all. That's how that happened. So we went and I got to back up to the weigh-ins. At the weigh-ins we weighed in at New York at Times Square. We weighed in, and we weighed in outside. And over in Germany, there was a guy named O.D. Wilson, and he was 450 pounds, and he won the strongest man in the world contest twice while he was in the military, and we were stationed at the same place. So when he came here where I was stationed at, he was my bodyguard. He became my bodyguard. And when we weighed in Times Square, when Tommy Morrison took off his shirt, and he turned, took off his shirt, and my my friend, my bodyguard, seen his back. He's seen a lot of oil base. He's seen a lot of blackheads, which come from oil-based steroids. So he told me he said, hey man, all you got to do is make him work for 5 rounds. For 5 rounds. That was 2 days before the fight. He told me that, and I I knew him for a long time. So I went with him instead of going with what we was training for. I went with what he said is just let him get tired. Just work him and make him get tired, and he's gonna be done. And if you can look at the fight now, I'm telling y'all this. Go look at the fight, and you can see that I was leaning on him. I was doing little bullshit punches, just moving, and he was just throwing bombs, missing. He was just trying to make him tired. Lean on him, put him in the headlock. I did all that stuff. Not hitting hard, just not even showing power. But he was trying to kill me, and that's what we wanted. And he gave out. He started giving out at the end of, I think, third round. And by the fourth round, he was really giving up. He was really getting tired, and he was ready. So
And
gave my
they weren't testing. They weren't testing for drugs. They weren't making you pee in the cup after the fight.
yeah, we peed in the cup. You know what I'm saying? I peed. I don't know what they did, but I peed in the cup. I peed in the cup every time I fought. Every time.
But your bodyguard, he knew the side effects of the juice. He saw the zits on Tommy's back, and he told you get him into the late rounds. He's all
That's right.
show no go.
That's right. And he was right. And that's the reason he was trying to take me out and throw them all them hard punches because he was on it. He was definitely on it. He never said he wasn't. Matter of fact, he did say they said he was on it. He was on it. They said on his what do you have? A 30 by 30 for 30, that show when they had it about Tommy Morrison, and they had
Yeah,
mentioned that about steroids, and he was taking them.
That's a sad thing, and Tommy too. God bless Tommy too, man. You know, he was a nice guy. Shouldn't have went the way he went. Let me shout out my brother, Major Key Boxing, World Combat Sports Technique, De Niro Sporter, McSmith again. Bray, thank you guys for coming in here, man. I know man needs no introductions, man. Merciless Ray Mercer. We're going through his career here. We're talking about the Tommy Morrison fight, and to me that was insane. People thought you were the killer after that fight. You were the next Mike Tyson. You were the main man on the scene. But unfortunately, you ran into a rejuvenated Larry Holmes. I don't know what happened to Larry Holmes that night. Let's talk about that fight, Ray.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was prepared. I had a contract to fight Michael Moore or Larry Holmes for the same amount of money. And I know Michael Moore was a southpaw, and Larry Holmes was my idol. So you always wanted, so to fight, I'd rather fight Larry Holmes than Michael Moore So I wanted to fight Larry Holmes, and I just knew I could beat him. I just knew he was, I was thinking, he's the old guy who's been around, and I'm not the living type of guy, So I was prepared to train for him. I was training hard for him because my trainers told me, now not just because he's an old man, don't think that you're gonna get in there and just knock him out. They was telling me that. Don't think that you're gonna train there like you're not gonna knock him out. He's gonna be there. So that's what I did. I was doing, and then right at the end, they're gonna tell me, when they think that I'm in perfect shape and everything mind wise, they tell me that Larry Holmes shouldn't be standing in front of you after 3 rounds. After 3 rounds. So I didn't know that was going to mess with me until after the 3 rounds. And it really did mess with me. And I think Larry's he's experienced enough to know that it was really, getting in my head. You know what I'm saying? And he was holding the ropes, looking over at his wife, swinging at me. He was like taking it as a joke, and it really got my head, man. It really got my head, and that's all I can say about Larry. That's my first fight, my first loss, and I don't think I came out the house for like 30 days. I wouldn't even come out the house because it was my first loss. But it was Larry Holmes, man. And now, I love Larry, man. Just like I loved him before. I love him and his wife. To meet his wife and to interact with them is just great. My wife knows his wife and knows him. I mean, we go to this golf tournament every year. So that was great. And they show my fight. They talk about me getting whooped and all that. And I tell them what really messed my mind up, him talking to his wife while he fight me and all that stuff, So
I feel sorry for Larry.
Him and his wife beat me both. It took both of them to beat me.
I thought you were going to kill him. I had a house full of people. We're feeling sorry for Larry, and all of a sudden it's like, what's going on? Larry's hitting him with that jab. Larry's making fun of him. Larry's saying, I ain't no Tommy Morrison. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here, man?
He got in my head. He got in my head, man. He got in my head. That's what he did. No. He really did. He got in my head. That's why I lost that. Because I shouldn't have lost. But hey, Larry, I lost to a good fighter. I mean, I probably should have did things different in there, but my mind was a little messed up.
Did that take?
It was just a mind thing. Everybody's got to go through that one where they learned. That was mine. Believe me, my first loss. That was mine. Where you think you should have worked harder and should have did this.
Did it take a while to? Did it take a while to get out of the funk of that first loss? Because you had some hard time after that, man.
It didn't take too long, but it did take some time. Like I said, I didn't want anybody to see me. I didn't come out of the house for a whole month. I didn't even come out of the house. I just didn't want to be seen. I just didn't. But after that, then you get your first loss. You take it kind of hard. I took it hard. But it was Larry Holmes, and I'm still to this day I'm proud that I fought him, and I'm I got in there and did the best I could do that day, and me and Larry are good friends right now.
Good, great, man. I love hearing that. Looking forward to seeing you at the Hall of Fame, man. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, Oh, definitely, definitely, definitely. It's coming up. It's
Now,
coming up.
coming up, man. Now after that, there was kind of a dark side, man. I want to see if you want to talk about it. You had a fight with Jesse Ferguson. You
Yeah,
lost the decision, and the front page cover of the boxing magazines. It says Jesse
yeah.
Ferguson's trying to bribe, unless Jesse Ferguson accusing Ray Mercer of a bribe. What in the
Yeah.
government's investigating? What happened in that fight, man? You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I was just talking shit to him just like I was doing on in most of my fights. And he went back after the fight, something like that. He went back and told his managers that I was in there trying to bribe him for 100,000. I mean, I was shocked. I was like, this is crazy. This is really crazy. And then he had the people, my manager, Mark Roberts, those was his cousins that was his trainer. So they went and did something at New York court, and next thing you know, I'm getting called there and getting served and all this other shit. And I'm like, whoa. So they got no proof of anything. So they take it to court. So I gotta go get a lawyer and all that other stuff. I had to pay over $200,000 to get a lawyer, and I
Wow.
got a pretty good lawyer, but really didn't need one. He got me off, and I'm glad he did. But it was all bullshit in the first place. We was in court, and the judge caught Jesse Ferguson on the stand taking messages from them two guys, his two managers, and he called them out and put them out of the courthouse. I mean, it was totally bullshit. I mean, when they went away to deliberate, they was 2 hours. 2 hours. I mean, everybody was saying it was ridiculous, and they had no proof or anything. So they called me back. It was innocent and all that other stuff, man. It was just crazy. I was just glad it was over. I had my
And
wife, and staying up there for 3 weeks in a hotel in New York. Um, you know, under those charges, I didn't like it, but I'm glad she was there to help me get through it. Because
and you fought.
you just so
You you
that you just want to
you
tear
rematched
somebody
them.
apart for life, huh?
You rematched them.
Yeah,
You had
I
a fight
rematched
with
them.
them. Did
Yeah.
you give him that fight? Was that part of the settlement? You gave him another big payday, or was it
No,
vengeance?
it was that fight. That fight was just to make up for the first one. For the
You go
first
in
one,
there.
to leave with to come back and just win. That's what it was. To just come back and to just beat him, and I did, and I did.
All right, man.
And
And
Jesse Ferguson was also a sparring partner. He was my sparring partner for a couple of years, also.
so you were tight with him anyway. And
Yeah, yeah,
man,
yeah. I
and,
think I
and,
think it,
and
huh?
no, go ahead, go ahead. It just kind of blows my mind because I remember reading this back in the '90s in Ring magazine and KO magazine. It was
Yeah,
front page news.
yeah. It was. It was.
Ray Mercer was
Or
trying to.
imagine me being home, laying in bed with my wife, and that comes across ESPN. I'm not even notified,
Yeah,
and that
front
comes
page.
across ESPN. Then I start getting calls from my mom, and everybody gets worried, and I'm trying to figure out who to call. I mean, it was terrible. I mean, that was crazy. His managers talked him into saying something because they him and the cousins didn't get along. The manager, I don't know, it was something, but they was wrong for that, and said they apologized since then and everything. So trying to talk to me, everything. I don't talk to him, not at all.
All right, man. Well, after that, man, you went to Atlantic City, man. You fought the real deal Holyfield. How was that fight, my brother?
I thought with Holyfield, I was in good shape for Holyfield because I know I had to lose some weight and I had to really train. And we got in there, man. I was in good shape. I was fast. I thought I was doing what I had to do for like 7 rounds until he caught me and I went down on one knee.
Well, yeah,
And
that
then
was
I
your first.
started. At the seventh round, and then I went down on the knee. I got up and I started moving backwards because I was being aggressive. And when you start moving back, that tells the story right there. That tells the judges that you're losing.
That's it, man.
So I
Yep.
think I lost. I think I lost that fight in the last 3 rounds. It was a 10-round fight, and I thought I won 7 of those rounds. I did. That's what I thought, you know.
And then after that, after fighting the real deal, you go to Madison Square Garden. They had that heavyweight extravaganza, and you're in there with Lennox Lewis, man, former heavyweight champ of the world. And how was that fight with Big Lennox? That fight, man. I thought you won that fight, Ray. I watched that fight on HBO. I said, man, he got ripped off.
Thank you. Thank
He
you.
got fucked.
That's what everybody tells me, man. That's what everybody tells me. And then, yeah, I trained, now this is one of the things for Lennox Lewis. You can ask anybody. I trained for him for seriously just for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, I trained for Lennox Lewis fight for 2 weeks. People wouldn't believe that. The only people that's going to believe that are my trainers, Matt Howard, my wife. But everybody around knows that I only trained hard for that fight for 2 weeks. But
what was your normal?
We didn't really get too far out of shape from the other fights. We didn't go and get totally out of shape, but we was in some kind of shape. But I really trained hard for 2 weeks for Lennox Lewis. I really did. I trained like I was in the Olympics for him for that fight, and I know I beat him. I know I beat him, and he even said it. He had mentioned it. He mentioned it, and he mentioned. I said, "Hey man, send me half the check." He said he will send me half the check, and every time I see him, I tell him, I say, "Lennox, still waiting, still waiting on that check."
Yeah.
There we got it. There we got it. Still
Well,
waiting.
Lennox
But
went on to great.
He's a great. He was a great fighter, and I'm gonna tell you like this: it took a lot of the heart to get in there fighting the way I did. But yeah, he's a great fighter, and he can really hit. I'm telling you, out of all the people that I fought, he's the hardest hitter. Lennox Lewis hit me harder than anything.
All right,
I mean,
man.
I wasn't hurt. But he hit me. He did. Yeah.
The last big fight that you had that I saw, man, that was for a title that you just kind of threw away. That was the Vladimir Klitschko fight. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
the Vladimir fight, and you had to go to Germany to fight him too, didn't you?
Did I do what?
Was that fight? Where was that fight? Was that in that was at the Taj Mahal. I thought it was in Germany for a second. Hey,
Nah.
let me thank Root Exposure for the super chat, bro. Thank you, my brother. $1.99 super chat. Appreciate that like you wouldn't believe, man. Latoya, Mayhem and Miracles. Anybody else that came in here, man, I appreciate it. I'm sorry I haven't acknowledged you, man. Adari, my bro, salute, man. Thank you much for coming in here, man. I'm just getting absorbed with one of my heroes over here, man. Merciless Ray Mercer. He's telling us like it really is. You can go back and you can read this stuff. You can look it up on YouTube. You can Google it. But I'm getting it from the horse's mouth over here, man. We're getting the real story. And Vladimir Klitschko. How was Vladimir Klitschko?
Vladimir Klitschko. The story on Vladimir Klitschko. When they first signed me, so that at the end of my career, I'm 40. I don't know, 49, 47, something like that. But I'm just anything. I'm trying to get anything I can get, And they come to me with him, and I say, yeah, I'll fight him. I'll fight anybody, So we was training for him, and I never really watched tapes of Klitschko. Never really heard too much about him, man. Believe it or not. And they signed the fight and everything. So I was in Brigantine, New Jersey, right outside of Atlantic City, and that's where I was staying in a house, 2-story house, and that's where we was training. We had a boat slit in the back and everything. And I'm a fisherman by heart, so I was running one morning, and I run, by the water and see where these people are fishing and everything, and they're catching fish, and I'm a fisherman, and they're out there early, right about the time I run, so I'm running, and I see this, for a whole week training for Klitschko. So what I started doing, I went fishing. I cut the run short, and I went fishing one day, and I caught a wheat fish. Never knew what a wheat fish was and what it looked like. It's an ugly fish, But people on the bank wanted to buy it, so I knew it was a good fish. So I told them no, because I had my father at the place where I was training, and we was gonna put him on the grill if I caught anything. And so I kept it, and I threw back out there with half a crab, and I caught a striper. I never caught a striped bass before, and they wanted to buy that too. And I was just so excited. I was just hooked, and I started cutting my run short for Klitschko. You know, start thinking about fishing and not him, and not looking at no films. My trainer told me that I need to take my vitamins and look at some films. I didn't even want to do that. I just thought if I just ran and I got in the best shape that I would beat the guy, not really knowing him. And came down to it, I would, instead of running, sometimes I would go fishing. You know, just sneak and go fishing. And you know, but I was in shape. I was in shape for Klitschko. I was. But my mind, I really wasn't thinking about him, looking at him, seeing how big he was and everything. So when we had the weigh-ins, I was like, whoa, when I seen him. And we got in the ring, and he hit me with a jab, and I went on my butt. I was like, oh boy. That's when I started hearing everything that my trainer, Matt Howard, used to tell me, man, I better take my vitamins and look at some film, man, and see how big he is and everything. But I didn't. And he hit me with that jab. I went straight on my butt. And I got up and I was fighting. And he hit me with a little jab. He would throw his jab, but then he would leave it out there and he would twist it over to like a hook on my chin. The first punch ever in my career that hurt me. That made my mind like make me dizzy. I
Did you
was
see
really
it
hurt.
coming? Did you see it
Huh?
coming? Did you see it?
No, no, I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming. And he did
Like,
it not once. He did it maybe three times. And I was like, oh man. That I was dizzy and all that. I think the rest up there gave me standing eight a couple of times. And then just like just said, hey, I'm just gonna fight. I just got in there and just fought and just started hitting to the body. I was going good to the body, hitting him with the hard to the right hand, and I was doing good. Then he caught me with that thing again, man. I think the referee called it, and I know I was hurt because I felt different for 2 weeks after that fight. I felt like I was the happiest man in the world, and that comes from being, getting hit like that. So all these guys out there just getting hurt all the time, man, and oof, I couldn't go through it a lot. So, it's sort of at
now,
the end of my career, but that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
happened with Klitschko.
It was the end of your career, but you still stuck around for another year. You still had a good 8 9 fights in there, and you ended up with Shannon the Cannon Briggs.
Yeah,
How did that
yeah.
fight? How did that fight end up?
Well, it ended up like this. We was in there. We was in there. For one thing, I could tell you that the trainer that I had, Anthony Ham, he was my trainer, and then Shannon called him. He went down to Shannon, telling Shannon everything that I was doing and all this other stuff. Shannon was calling him while he was training me. That's why we got rid of him. So he went down there to Shannon and was telling him everything, which really means nothing. But I ended up really training myself for that. But I was in shape and everything, and I got in there. We got in there, got down there, and got with Shannon. We got in there. We was throwing. I was jabbing him and everything, and then he hit me. He hit me with a right hand, and it opened my right eye. He I in training in sparring, I had a retina tear. I didn't know it was that big. I mean, all Shannon did when he hit me with the right, he hit me. He hit hard. When he hit me with that right hand, it busted that, and I couldn't see anything out of my right eye. All I seen, how you play marble, they got the cat's eye or the one the marble that it was just marble, like greenish, and it
Damn.
wouldn't move anything. It was just there. It was a giant retina tear. I could have fought, and I fought a little bit after that, but then he hit me with a punch and he hit me with a right hand. No, I threw a right hand, and because of my right eye, I couldn't see anything. I overthrew. And then he came and started hitting me in the back of the head, rabbit punching me. If you can look at it, I was through the ropes.
Right,
He was
right.
rabbit punching me in the back of the head. So I thought he would get disqualified for that. And I know my eye was hurt, so I tried to just lay down there like, just for him to get disqualified. But they didn't disqualify him. They should have. If you go back and look at that fight too, look at the rabbit punches. You can't punch anybody in the back of the head like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was a little dizzy with that, but I was wanting to get up. I was thinking, I just knew he was gonna get for doing that, hitting in the back of the head, because I've never felt that, and it didn't happen, and that's what
Did,
happened.
did you kind of get the message though? It was time to bow out of the game, time to move on, do something else.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, with something like that, I had to have surgery on my eye. It was the worst thing ever, man. I had to sleep. Oh man, I would never want to go through that again. Yeah, I started doing that. That's why I just started just taking stuff. But I started doing the next fight. What was the next fight? It was an MMA fight.
Oh well, yeah, yeah. Well, you had one more fight in here. You had a fight with the guy in Lofberg Arena. That was Mikel Lindeblad
That's overseas.
overseas. Yeah,
Yeah, in Sweden.
in Sweden, exactly. Yeah, I couldn't recognize the flag. You knocked the guy out in the
Yeah, that's
first
true.
round.
Yeah, yep. That he was the champ too. I think I hit him with a jab or a right hand or something. He was gone.
Yeah,
I didn't even train
you,
it off for that fight either.
hey, that's the time you just want to make a few bucks and you're a fighter. That's what you do. You fight.
Thank
You
you,
fight.
thank you,
If you're a
thank
prize
you,
fighter.
thank you, thank you.
Let me
Yes.
let me shout out a few more that came in here, man. My sister Veronica, my buddy Musically Zone Boxing, Rascalot, my main man Boxing Conversation with Reggie Owens. Reggie says, "Oh shit, man, Ray Mercer's the number one boxer I would have ducked if I boxed."
Wow. Thank you.
My brother Rude Exposure, Danira, man. Hey, thank you, cats, for coming in here, man. I'm talking. Hey, Ray, after boxing, you went back into the MMA. Did you train for that at all in your career, or you just pick that up, or how'd
No,
you
I
end up? And
just,
you
I just, me and my son Xavier Mercer he was sitting here. We were sitting here. We used to watch it. He used to love it. Watching. And we thought them guys was tough. He used to sit there and call them beasts. And you know what I'm saying? After watching it, after a while, you want your kid, you want to be a beast too. So I did it. I was offered to do it, and I did it really for my son, and just me too. I always wanted to do something like that, like Muhammad Ali did that with the wrestling guy and all that. So I wanted to do something like with the wrestling too. So
you knocked it
Kimbo
out.
Slices.
A record knockout though, didn't you? Didn't you knock him out in like seconds?
Oh, that was the second one. I had the first my first MMA fight was Tim Sylvia.
A
And
legend.
no, yeah, that was the second one. The first one was Kimbo Slice. So I
Kimbo
ended up
Slice. Yeah.
tapping out on him. Yeah, I did his first MMA fight.
And what were you just not used to fighting on your belly? Just not used to fighting
No,
off your
well,
feet?
I trained a little bit on the ground and everything for that fight. And what happened is, I thought in my mind, I thought he was going to do what he does on the street. When he was doing this street fighting, I thought he was going to come out and box. I did not know he had enough time to learn that karate stuff and all that wrestling. But what he did, he came over and he did a little flutter, and I covered up and waiting on him to finish. Then he went down and he grabbed my legs. That's when things was different. You know what I'm saying? I'm holding on to the cage, and the referee comes and hits my hands off the cage, and I'm go down, and he's on my chest. And I is ready for ground and pound, but he didn't get one punch off because I lifted up and I threw him over, and when I threw him over, my head went under his arm, and he just clamped down, and I had neck surgery, so I was out of my element. I said, hey, I tapped out, and that was it, and I got paid. And then I
And
got Chris, huh?
the next dude, you knocked him out in record. What was it 8 seconds or something like that?
Yeah, Tim Sylvia is 9 seconds, man.
9 seconds,
It was
man.
9 seconds. That was my last fight right there, MMA fight. Tim Sylvia. What I did, we had some fun with him. He was a young guy, and we trained. They was gonna do it was supposed to be in boxing. We trained for boxing for like 8 weeks. And then when we get down to Alabama, then they want to say that it can't be sanctioned, so they changed it over to an MMA fight, and then they was going to send me home. And I was thinking that they canceled the whole card, but I was with my friend, my traveling buddy, and he told me we were sitting at the bar after 3 double shots of Patron and 3 Heinekens. He told me they're bringing somebody in for me. And I was like, for me? I thought they canceled the whole card. That's why I was in the bar in the first place. So I said, nah, man. I said, nah. I said, shit, I do MMA. So we went and found the manager and told him, yo, we do MMA. And so he said he was happy, started laughing and smiling and everything. And we went and had a press conference. And I was sort of dizzy. I was sort of drunk in the press conference. If you guys can look that up, Mercer had press conference against Ten Sylvia, you would know I had some drinks. And
We'll check that out. Let
yeah,
me see if I can.
you need to check that out. Huh?
Let me see if I can bring it up.
Yeah. You gonna bring it up?
Yeah, I'll see if I can.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was good. We went out with him, with management, his manager, my manager, and trainer, and I got drunk in front of him for 3 nights. And he seen that, and he asked me, "Well, how many drinks do I train?" I said, "No, man, I don't train." I said, "I smoke weed." I said, I drink, and look, I'm just in this. I'm this old, 49 years old. I'm just here to get the money. And after three nights, he bought it. 'Cause he was walking around the hotel, and he's up there. He's calling me, "What's up, old man?" And all that stuff. So it really worked. It really worked. And we got in there. We got in the ring, and if you can look that up too, what he did a little kick, like I was gonna go down, because I had already told him, after we went out, that I was only there for the money, so he really believed it. So he just kicked me a little bit, and then I looked at him like it was crazy. He see what I was gonna do, and I just started moving side to side and set him up for that right hand, and then I let it go. I knew I wasn't gonna be standing. It's one of those punches where you know you're not gonna be standing. It's so hard. And I went to grab his feet. I hit him, grabbed his feet, and I looked up, and he was twisted. His face was twisted like he was knocked out. And I hopped up and I hammer fisted him one time in the nose hard too. And I tried to do it again, and the referee pushed me off, man. And I was champ. I mean, that was it.
What a great way to leave the game, huh? I mean, that
It
must have
is
felt.
with a knockout, an MMA knockout too. That
I
was
love it.
good.
I tell you,
Yeah,
bro,
I love that.
I'm love going back, retracing your whole career, and going from the beginning to the end. And man, great stories. How about boxing today? You watching any of the shit going on today? You watching? You keeping aware of what's been
Yeah,
going on?
I watch some fights when I can, and some are good, and it's not like the old days. So it's nothing like the old days. I mean, I don't know if we're just getting older now, but I know boxing back in the older days was better boxing than what they got now. I mean, we had what? We had Tuesday night fights. We had everything. We have fights, what, 3 on 3 times a week almost.
Mm-hmm.
Now what? You can't get it. I mean, it's changed. It's
We get,
changed.
we get, we're getting the quantity, but we're not getting the quality that we were getting back then. Like we're getting
Yeah, true enough. You're getting enough fights, but you're not getting the kind of fights that you
But
need.
I'll tell you, brother, that Turkey Al Sheikh in Saudi Arabia, he's doing some magic over there, especially with the heavyweights. I like where he's going.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's getting fighters paid, man, and he's got something that we can go make money on. That's always good. That's always good. I'm happy for that too. That the fighters are making money. What we really need is we need some kind of health program or some kind of pension or something like that for the fighters, man. Got a lot of fighters out there that's not doing good and that haven't been doing good, that done died and everything. We probably bring in the most money than all the other sports, a heavyweight fight. And for us not to have a pension or have medical or anything like that, it's just terrible, man. And that's the one bad thing about boxing, man. That you do it and you try to be your best, and you don't come out 100%, and you get nothing for it. You know, and you do this for 20 years. You know, people retire in 20 years. They get a pension and everything. Basketball players, football players, everybody, except the fighters,
Mhm.
man. And we got fighters now that we take up money. They have the WBC. WBC does a lot for boxing. I love WBC. You know, they take care of the fighters. They pay them money. They take care of the bills and everything. So you know, they really help out. And there's probably a couple more, but we need more. We need a pension. We need medical. We need somebody to stand up out there and get this thing started for us. You know, somebody that knows boxing and knows about getting medicals and setting everything up. We need that. So if we get that, I think things will be better. You know.
It would be great. Hey, let me thank my brother Define the Irony, man. Thank you so much for that super chat. My brother Nick M's Classic Boxing Channel. It is a channel. If you're ever on YouTube, go check out Nick M's Classic Boxing Channel. He's got a lot of your fights on there.
Okay.
He's got a lot of the obscure ones, the ones that you wouldn't think. He finds them and pulls them up there, man. So shout out to my brother Nick M, man. But hey, Ray, great talking to you now, man. I know it's been an hour. It's been really, really cool. And any fights you're looking forward to that are coming up?
And then who?
Any fights that are coming up and that you're looking forward to coming up in the future? We got
Not really.
we got
Not
the
really.
heavyweight division. What do you think of the heavyweight division? You think Usyk's the best guy out there right now?
No, I really don't. But he's there. I mean, you got to give him a credit. He has it. He's a champ. So he's got to be the best right now. I'm pretty sure
Man,
there's some upcomers out there that could probably do better than him. But he's a champ now, man. I give him all the credit. I ain't even say what I said before. He is a champ right now, and he is the toughest guy out there right now.
Ray, why did you never get a fight with Mike Tyson?
That's the fight we was waiting on, man. We was gonna get that. I actually had a contract to fight Tyson, man, but Lennox Lewis took it to court, and Lennox Lewis got the fight first, and that was it. Nothing else after that, man. You know. But I always felt like that was the fight that I needed right there. That would have been my fight right there. That would have been the fight that I need.
Mm. And
Yeah.
another fight that people wanted to see you was with Big Daddy Bo, the 2 gold medalists.
Oh yeah. I don't think. I don't know that it almost happened one time, but our managers was going at it with each other, and they just throwing us in there as using us, to try to build up a fight. But they said their fight was signed, and I didn't even know about it. I didn't even know about the fight signed with Bo, and they're on
Wow.
TV, looking at this shit on TV. It's crazy. They hated each other, my manager and his manager. They're probably friends now, though.
Everybody's friends now. That's what I like about it. We're still here. We're thanking God every day. We're still here, man. And hey, it's a great thing for me to get a legend like you to come on here, tell us some great stories, retrace your entire career, man. And let us know you're looking good. You're looking healthy. I mean, it makes me feel proud to be a boxing fan. And
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
shout out to Merciless Ray Mercer, man. Great talking to you, brother. Great
Hey,
meeting you.
man,
Great.
I really enjoyed the show. Your questions are on spot. You get right to the point and everything, man. You make it easier for fighters to talk on your show, man.
And brother, much love to you, man. And I've had a great time, and I'll be talking to you again. I want to get that autographed picture to put on my wall here with the rest of the
That's
legends.
right. That's right. I'm gonna send that tomorrow.
All right, my brother. Hey,
All right.
thank you so much. Peace out, and
Thank you,
everybody
my
else
man.
out there. Thank you so much
All
for
right.
coming,
Thank
man.
everybody. Thank everybody. Hope to see you again.